3043 on the RamosLaw.com text line. Cecil, I want to talk about the Broncos defense. And I want to talk about something you and Andrew Mason got into a little bit on Orange and Blue yesterday at denversports.com. This defense, as good as they've been really for a handful of years here, are they in line to take yet another step? So you go through the first, 13 weeks of the season last year, they were a top 5 defense. At moments, a top 3 defense. They ultimately led the league in sacks at 63, but when Riley Moss went down, something happened, right? It was that final 4 weeks where they just didn't look the same. And they went from being that top 3-5 defense to, I mean, we're still not getting crazy, but like 10, 11, 12, right? And it just, you saw it. They didn't pass the eye test from what we had become accustomed to. Now with the additions of Dre Greenlaw, you get Hufanga there in the backfield or in the secondary. You're hopeful that you get Alex Singleton back at a high level.
Right.
Riley Moss is back healthy. You add Jahdae Barron. Can this be the year where they don't just live in the top 3? Like, that's the lowest they get this year. I'm talking about they're looked at as the best defense in the NFL, and then there are some times where they struggle and stub their toe, and it drops them down to like the 3rd best defense in the NFL.
Right.
Is that the expectation now?
Yeah, I think that's the expectation because this defense has everything. They've got it all. They've got depth now as well. So Vance Joseph, that's why the pressure is on him. The pressure is there to be top 5, and that's the pessimistic outlook for this team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, they're going to be a top-tied defense. Yeah, of course. They need to be the number 1 defense in the league. They need to suffocate opponents. That's point blank period how this team needs to partly win, because part of their wins are going to come from that offense.
Mm-hmm.
That offense should be much sharper. It should be a better offense. It should be a more well-rounded offense. They can actually run the ball with a running back who averages more than 3 yards a carry. They've got pass catchers, plural. So the offense is one thing, but when we talk about this defense, where's the weak spot? Other than your concern about linebackers that are come back from an injury. Okay, that's the big weak spot. We'll see. Is Dre Greenlaw healthy? Is Alex Singleton healthy? If they are, you've got strength, you've got depth, you've got talent at all 3 levels, and you're strong in your core. The core is a defensive tackle, inside linebacker, and safety position. You can look down the middle of this defense, and you can see strength at every single level. So if you want to soften a team up by running the ball, or if you want to choke out a lead, maybe someone's fighting Denver, and it's 24-21, and they're trying to march down the field and just keep the Broncos from getting the ball back so they can win. This defense is set up to win in a different way, in all different ways, whether it's, going up against a high-flying offense with passing games like Cincinnati, whether it's going against a team that runs the hell out of the ball with a couple of backs like the Chargers. They can beat you either way. So they had better be top 5 at worst and number 1 at best.
See, and that's what I was thinking about last night. If you're an offensive coordinator, you're the head coach, it's an offensive mind, and you're going to game plan against the Broncos. All right, you have a great quarterback. Who do you want him to pick on? You're not picking on PS2. And then on the other side over there is Riley Moss, Jahdae Barron, whoever it ends up being, with bracket coverage over the top with one of those safeties.
Right.
And
Good luck.
I think Brandon Jones is in line for a nice step forward because of Hufanga and the rest of this defense. All right, you want to try to win the tight end linebacker battle? Well, let's see what Dre Greenlaw is. But if he can return healthy and to form, I think that's an advantage for the Denver Broncos. You're going to run the ball on the Broncos? Good luck doing that, too. Now, I know there has been some teams that had success, but they've shored up that interior defensive line. And with guys like Zach Allen still looking for a payday, John Franklin Myers and Malcolm Roach in line for another payday, you don't think they know it's a contract year and a contract deciding year for them moving forward? So
yeah.
I would imagine you get even better performances out of those 3 guys on the interior as well, who were outstanding a year ago.
Yeah, and that's where this team goes, all right, you're not going to be able to move the ball in the middle. Our edges are going to attack you. You've taken away half the field with Pat Surtain. If I'm an opposing offensive coordinator, if I'm Tennessee, I go, wow, Cam, you better run around. Hopefully they have their backs turned to the line of scrimmage and Cam Ward can make some plays. Like, that's it for that team. If I'm Cincinnati, it's a different conversation, right? And Joe Burrow saying yesterday, the quote was making the rounds of like, if I was only better, we'd have been a playoff team. Well, Joe Burrow's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be a different conversation. And with them, you go, okay, test Riley Moss. But they're going to get done with that. sometimes someone's going to get sick of testing Riley Moss when he doesn't let anything through.
Yeah.
And he does the incomplete thing, of course, every time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to do that every time, Riley.
It's
but
very
either
annoying.
way. Yeah, it
Very
is.
annoying.
But he's going to get tested when he proves himself, when he stays healthy, when they even help him out with Jahdae Barron or something. Like, when that is proven to be a no-go zone, I mean, what do? You attack the linebackers in coverage, football 101, some screen passes, some drop plays to slow down the pass rush.
And you hope you win in speed and space.
Exactly.
That's hope. That's
You,
not a
you
plan.
hope in a one-on-one situation, your back makes that linebacker miss, and then you get a big play.
Yep. It's setting up to be very beautiful. It's why we said Vance has the most pressure on him on yesterday's show. I did my full Dover on Denver podcast about it and talking about some of those other names. So VJ's got everything you need. You said it last year kind of joking, like, you need everything, Vance? Well, here you go. You have it now.
Now he's got it.
There are no more excuses for Vance Joseph. But I feel good about what this defense can be. Like, top three is the minimum. I'm with you. The top one, best in the league. That's the expectation with what this roster has on it.
Yep.
All right, one real quick text from Jack Jordan, one of our loyal listeners up in Thornton there. I won't hold that against you too much, Jack. Says, born in Colorado and lived here 90% of my life. I'm your guy's age. Maybe not as old as Cecil. That's what he wrote, dude. I didn't say that. That's what he wrote.
Oh, my God. Taking L's.
I've never been snowboarding. Just skied for the first time 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I've never been to Casa Bonita. That's a weird one.
Oh, my God.
That's I haven't been to New Casa Bonita since Trey and Matt took over.
Yeah.
But I went there several times as a child.
Yes.
Jack, you gotta get there, man. You gotta get to. You definitely have to get to Casa Bonita at some point. That's a must for Jack. So make that go. Make that work, Jack. All right, that's what we're asking you today for Tribe Roll Call. What have you not done in this great state of Colorado that makes folks like us go, what? How have you not done that? 303-713-1043. In the meantime, while you send those texts, let's talk a little bit.